I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, it's wrong! Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon!
So the killer used some random knife they had on him.
No, it's wrong! No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Mukuro must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret, when nobody was in the dining hall.
No, it's wrong! Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it. No, that's wrong! The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room. I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room. Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
No, that's wrong! The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack!
No, it's wrong! Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword. It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right? No, it's wrong! There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message. Dining? Wait, what did you say? The key to the trash room whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to destroy the evidence. No, it's wrong! Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
Let's talk about the murder weapon!
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, that's wrong! Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
The culprit is Genocide Jet. I'm sure. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it!
No, that's wrong! I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things. Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, it's wrong! Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kinda weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
No, that's wrong! I'll tell you what's so strange about that, because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body. But Chihiro was suspended with... it was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, it's wrong! Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What the?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, it's wrong! No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Look.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but... Did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer! And only the killer!
No, it's wrong! I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing!
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
No, that's wrong! Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said... She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
No, that's wrong! Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes? Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit cards, they are all proof enough.
No, it's wrong! Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, it's wrong! You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
No, that's wrong! Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong! Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, that's wrong! In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
Puppy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong! No, there absolutely is a connection.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
No, that's wrong! The murder weapon...
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
No, it's wrong! Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
No, it's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like a bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No, it's wrong. No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
No, it's wrong. That's it! The handbook!
it was one of you. One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
No, it's wrong! Another reason you suspect them is because Sakura wanted to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and that was right before she died. So there's no doubt about it. One of those three killed her. The fact that Sakura wanted to meet with all three of them, there's no way that's not suspicious. One of you is absolutely guilty.
I don't deny that she wanted to meet with us, but I never went to see her.
I didn't either.
Yeah, same here. I never saw her.
No, it's wrong! Hiro, when we were talking before, you dropped a small piece of paper, remember? It was white with red polka dots.
What's that got to do with anything? I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense! I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
No, that's wrong! When Sakura's body was found, that magazine was sitting on the shelf nearby.
I didn't want to, but I did it. I grabbed a Monokuma bottle from the shelf nearby, and I hit Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once, is that right?
Yeah, just once.
No, that's wrong! If Sakura died from Hiro's single blow, that doesn't explain why she had 2 head wounds.
Huh? 2?
That's right.
Peacefully. And all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
You were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
You got it! I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
No, that's wrong! We found it.
What was it that killed Ogre? If it wasn't from Genocide Jill's attack, then what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the shot to her head.
No, it's wrong! According to the Monokuma file, Sakura had vomited blood.
First, I went to Section C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from Section C to Section A.
No, it's wrong! You said you went to get the poison from Section C, and that's where you spilled the powder, right?
Yeah? What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein. But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A. That contradicts what you just said.
What?
When it comes to that protein can, there's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked, it absolutely was not in there.
So you're saying someone planted it there after we got the door open?
No, that's impossible! It had to have been in there the whole time! It had to be! It was in there before the rec room was unlocked!
No, it's wrong! You remember how there was broken glass scattered all around the room, right?
Of course. It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well, those pieces weren't just scattered around the protein can. We also found pieces underneath the can.
What?
And this proves it.
That Hiyoko there is just a ghost!
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it! Prove she's not a ghost!
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion!
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah! She must have been wearing gloves!
No, it's wrong! No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Hiyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right?
If Hiyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong! There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No, it's wrong! Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, it's wrong! Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto. It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No, it's wrong! Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
No, it's wrong! Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, it's wrong! You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know? Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, it's wrong! If I'm right, Hiyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Hiyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you, so let's hear it. Where's this lie, then? I didn't have the key to my room. Because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, that's wrong. No, Hiyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Hiyoko?
Manakima's secret tool?
Hiyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing—
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it, so I lost. That's all this means.
Then, are you saying you really didn't, Hiyoko? You really aren't the killer?
You guys have all been working together, haven't you? I have evidence, so I know I'm right!
Hey, you stole my line. You're all out to get me. I'm sure of it. I have evidence of my own.
What a coincidence. I too have evidence to present. Evidence that proves everyone other than me has been working together.
What? Wait, hold on. This doesn't make any sense. How can the three of us each have that kind of evidence?
No, it's wrong. It's not just you three. I have evidence too.
What? You too?
The evidence you're all referring to is this group photo, right?
You're saying we all got spontaneous amnesia? Since when did this turn into some kind of sci-fi fantasy?
I promise you, I haven't lost my memory. Ever since I got to this school, I remember everything that's happened.
No, that's wrong. Those photos aren't the only things that point to the possibility of memory loss. This DVD does the same thing.
You're not gonna show us something indecent, are you?
No, it's nothing like that.
So who did it? Who killed her?
Whoever did it is the same one who's behind everything. That much I'm sure of.
But when you think about it, is the mastermind really here in the school?
Of course! They have to be here somewhere.
What makes you so sure?
What does make me so sure? Exactly! You're just making stuff up. There's no way the mastermind is here. The mastermind is probably a million miles away.
No, it's wrong. There's no question that the mastermind is somewhere within the school.
Mukuro was the ultimate soldier. She must have been in 100 different battles. So, when you think about it, obviously, she got all those wounds in battle.
No, it's wrong. No, Mukuro didn't suffer those wounds in battle. The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much. Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir, when she entered this school, she hadn't sustained a single injury.
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba!
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the attacker we can use to prove it wasn't her.
Oh? And what is this other part? Is it the right hand? Or the left hand? Maybe the right foot? Or perhaps the left foot? Or could it be the hips? You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba!
No, it's wrong! Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me. And there was no such tattoo. So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, nothing's gonna become obvious because Hiyoko's totally delusional! Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Fujisaki? Mondo Owada? Kiyotaka Ishimaru? Hifumi Yamada? Celestia Lu... whatever? Or maybe... Sakura Ogami? No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice!
No, it's wrong! Junko! Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered...
And the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
No, it's wrong. No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Hiyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
Come on, bitches! Remember or die! What the fuck happened outside?
You want us to remember or whatever, but when it comes to that crazy, confusing video you showed us, I don't understand a damn thing!
What's the meaning of the footage we saw? Is this another one of your practical jokes?
I mean, you're telling us to remember, but what am I supposed to be remembering? Nobody can remember anything.
No, it's wrong. Actually, she might remember.
Who might remember?
The other token, Genocide Jack.
Years worth of memories. I could never lose something like that.
We've been living here for 2 years? Hell no! That's impossible! I mean, I haven't gone to any awesome school events or anything! Heck, I've never even gone to a single class!
This is all just surreal.
Plus, if 2 years have passed, how freaking old am I?
Everyone's so conflicted!
2 years worth of memories. I could never lose something like that.
We've been living here for 2 years? Hell no! That's impossible! I mean, I haven't gone to any awesome school events or anything! Heck, I've never even gone to a single class!
No, it's wrong. Hiro, there's something I'd like you to take a look at. This notebook right here.
Huh? Hey, why's my name written on it?
Hiyoko!
One person's despair is enough to seal your fate. Isn't that just the most hopeless outcome ever?
So, who do you think's gonna give in? Whose despair is gonna sign your death warrant?
No one. Nobody's gonna give in to despair! We're not gonna lose to you!
So boring. Stubborn till the very end, huh? Well, that's fine. Then let's just hurry up and get it over with. It's time for the final vote. Everything will come to an end. Your stupid hope. And your stupid life!
We won't give up! As long as there's hope, we'll never give up!
If I were to die, that would be the end of Hope's Peak Academy. By the way, the air outside is totally polluted, you know. The only reason we're okay in here is thanks to the air purifiers in the physics lab. If I die, the purifiers will screech to a halt. In other words, as soon as I die, the communal life you've all been living will come to an end. Meh. All of you will have to leave. You'll have to go into the world outside, where only death and despair are waiting.
Don't lose hope now!
What's the matter? You're not actually trying to encourage me, are you? Ridiculous. It never even crossed my mind that I might give in to despair. But don't misunderstand me. I couldn't care in the slightest what happens to you. I just have to keep my word. I swore I would end the life of the mastermind. Besides, the Togami family isn't dead, because I'm still alive. So until I can restore the Togami family and bring it greater glory than it's ever known,
We won't give up! As long as there's hope, we'll never give up!
If I were to die, That would be the end of Hope's Peak Academy. By the way, the air outside is totally polluted, you know. The only reason we're okay in here is thanks to the air purifiers in the physics lab. If I die, the purifiers will screech to a halt. In other words, as soon as I die, the communal life you've all been living will come to an end.
Meh.
Don't lose hope now!
I don't care either way. I'm fine with whichever one is more interesting. Actually, I may not look like it, but I always hated school. Hell, no matter how I look, still hate it. Oh, but no matter what, Master has to come along with us.
We won't give up! As long as there's hope, we'll never give up!
If I were to die, that would be the end of Hope's Peak Academy. By the way, the air outside is totally polluted, you know. The only reason we're okay in here is thanks to the air purifiers in the physics lab.
Don't lose hope now!
I've been thinking about all this, and I was thinking, at a time like this, what would Sakura do? You only get stronger by taking adversity by the horns. Confront that thorny path with enthusiasm. That sounds like something she'd say, right? No. I think that's definitely what she'd say. Which is why Yeah! I've made up my mind!
We won't give up! As long as there's hope, we'll never give up!
If I were to die, that would be the end of Hope's Peak Academy.
Don't lose hope now!
All my fortune-telling senses are telling me not to leave this place. But to live means moving forward, right? So even if it's hard, even if we're scared, we don't have any choice, do we? I want to keep on living. I want to open the next door. There must be something new waiting for me. So that's why, no matter what, I need to get out of here. The whole fortune-telling thing doesn't matter anymore. What matters is my own gut feelings.
We won't give up! As long as there's hope, we'll never give up!
If I were to die, that would be the end of Hope's Peak Academy.
I decided to have faith in myself.
By the way, the air outside is totally polluted, you know. The only reason we're okay in here is thanks to the air purifiers in the physics lab.
Say whatever you want. I've made my decision.
If I die, the purifiers will screech to a halt. In other words, as soon as I die, the communal life you've all been living will come to an end.
I can keep on living as long as I have my master's love!
All of you will have to leave. You'll have to go into the world outside, where only death and despair are waiting.
I already said I would claim the Mastermind's life, by whatever means necessary.
So, what are you gonna do? Will you just die? Is that what you want?
Don't lose hope now!
I didn't really know my father, so I can't pretend to know what he was thinking. But even if we're just connected by blood, there's one thing I am sure of. He would never want us to abandon Makoto and choose to stay here. I can't explain why exactly. But if I'm sure of anything, I'm sure of that. Just because we don't actually know anything. Does that mean we can't understand? Could it be that... No, never mind. So, Makoto, I don't think you wound up at this school because you had good luck or bad luck. I think you came here for a different reason entirely. You came here to bring down the ultimate despair. You came here to confront despair without ever giving up. And if that's true, I think we could call you the ultimate hope. What do you think?
What the hell are you?
Why was Byakuya's body in a place like that?
His body was underneath the table at the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there.
No, that's wrong!
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
Huh? Why?
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table.
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout.
That sounds correct.
If that's the case... During the blackout, Mr. Ham-Hands must have seen the killer take the knife.
But it was super pitch black! It was so dark I couldn't see my food!
Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either.
No, that's wrong!
No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark.
Why do you say that?
He was using those night vision goggles we found under the table. He could have seen what was happening.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Since Peko was in the office, she could have caused a blackout at any time!
That's impossible.
Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I agree with that!
No, I think Peko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Peko.
Did you eat anything weird?
I don't remember eating anything weird.
Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right?
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think? No, that's wrong!
No, it's impossible that laxatives were slipped into the food in the dining hall.
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do it? If you can't answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
Did they throw a stone and hit it?
Maybe they used a remote control?
They probably messed with the breaker.
It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters. Or maybe they caused a power surge?
I agree with that!
It's just as Mahiru said. The blackout was caused by a power surge. Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
Which is why those 3 irons were arranged to cause the blackout.
When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah, it seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
I think it's strange that...
The killer was so obviously Nagito!
He has already confessed. You know...
That bastard Nagito is the one who did it! He killed Byakuya with the knife he hit! No, that's wrong!
That knife might not be the murder weapon. That's what you wanted to say, right, Mikon?
During the party, the killer was lurking under the floor like a cockroach.
And you could have stared at panties all day. Without going to the storage room in the dark.
Is that true, Fuyuhiko?
Don't act like I'm the fucking killer!
But when the party started... nobody saw you, you know? That means you have no alibi!
No, that's wrong!
No, Fuyuhiko definitely has an alibi. Isn't that right, Chiaki?
Oh, you're right.
The hallway was really dark during the blackout. Moving to the storage room like that... it's like making a seafood bowl without fish!
Is it really not possible?
What if they used a string like the cord?
Maybe there was another pair of night vision goggles?
What a pain, I'm gonna go with my gut. What if they used a light?
I agree with that!
The killer had a light with him.
Oh, I was right? But where could they have found a light?
There was one nearby for sure. See? It's written on the kitchen's equipment list.
Now, show me more of your hope. Will that be enough to crush Teru's hope? Let me ask you again. Did you go to the storage room during the blackout?
There's no way I went to the storage room. I was somewhere totally different.
I definitely heard Teru's voice. It's handsome, unlike his face. Maybe it was recording or something? Nope, definitely a live voice.
Right, as long as I have her testimony. the fact that I was in the dining hall cannot be disputed. I'll shoot through that contradiction. Just because we heard Teruteru's voice in the dining hall doesn't mean he was literally in the dining hall.
After she killed the first victim in the music room, what did Girl E do?
She just broke the window in the music room and escaped outside.
So how did Girl E get from outside the school to the front of the music room? To go back to the music room from outside, you need to go through the entrance hall. Plus, at the entrance hall, the other 4 girls should have been there.
At the entrance hall, the girls heard the sound of the window shattering.
No, that's wrong! First of all, the sound the girls heard wasn't the window breaking.
A weapon inside the music room, huh? What about broken glass?
Isn't the cause of death a blow to the head? Then she attacked her with the fish tank.
That's too big to be a weapon. Then the piano. Why are you going even bigger? The investigation conducts universal chaos. It's on that big a scale, too?
How about beating her with gravel instead?
I agree with that!
You four-eyed troll? Accusing me of killing Mahiru? You're so mean!
Why do you doubt Hiyoko? Do you know where Hiyoko was today? She was at the beach house, the scene of the crime.
But I didn't go to the beach house!
No, that's wrong! Wait a minute. You should have been at the beach house, Hiyoko.
I did go to the beach house. But only during my morning walk.
No, that's wrong! Only during your morning walk, huh? Will you still claim that after you take a look at this letter?
I shall render my verdict upon this mystery's conclusion. Hiyoko is the sinner who killed Mahiru!
I'm telling you, it's a trap!
There's no doubt! You went to the beach house, right?
Oh, that is...
And weren't you also hiding in the closet? So that's when you dropped the gummy!
No, that's wrong! About that gummy, did Hiyoko really drop it?
We're not done with Hiyoko yet! There's still a huge piece of evidence left!
You're talking about the footprints near the beach house, right?
It's true, that's an important piece of evidence. And we can thank Mahiru for it!
What does that mean? Mahiru used her last ounce of strength and...
No, that's wrong!
Mahiru didn't block the door. Her death was instant.
What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply washed it off.
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been impossible.
They didn't have to use the shower.
Oh, what about the wetsuits in the closet? Maybe they wore one when they moved the body.
If they used something other than the shower... What did they do with the bloody wetsuit?
They cut it up and whoosh.
As someone who flushes their shit every morning, I can declare it would definitely clog the toilet!
Maybe it's the other way around? Perhaps someone other than the killer moved the body? Maybe they were able to wash it off.
What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply washed it off.
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been impossible. No, that's wrong!
If they just needed to wash off the blood, they didn't necessarily have to use the shower. They could have just as easily used something else.
Something other than the shower. Like what? I see!
Drinks inside the refrigerator. Couldn't the killer have used those to wash off the blood?
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie. No, that's wrong!
I'm not the killer! I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside. No, that's wrong!
Wait a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence!
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
I agree with that.
Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint bloodstains on the soles of her slippers.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood!
Hiyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi!
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then...
No, that's wrong!
Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi.
Why did Hiyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the killer!
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
I agree with that.
It's just as Sonia said. She went to the music venue of her own free will.
So, exactly as I assumed.
If no one called for her, then why did she go?
Hiyoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the despair disease, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them. There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room? That must be it!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too. Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie? That must be it!
So that's what happened.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had?
Ibuki and Mikon clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikon clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle?
I'll shoot through that contradiction.
I guess we should figure out the weapon first. The weapon was right there at the scene of the crime!
That pillar, huh?
No, the hammer! The killer used that hammer and beat the crap out of him!
No, that's wrong! No, I can't accept that that hammer was the murder weapon.
What?
There's no need to lift that pillar.
If the pillar was not lifted, beating him with it is beyond a dream.
What about tipping the pillar over?
No, that's wrong! If Nekomaru was crushed by the pillar, then there should have been fragments on top of his body.
Huh? In truth, Strawberry Tower and Grape Tower are actually the exact same place.
No, that's wrong! Both of those towers, are they really the same place?
Why are you asking that now? Do you harbor a grudge because my kingdom destroyed your homeland?
Hajime, I won't tolerate any sort of rebellion. I'll definitely make her watch me. I'm gonna stand out till she notices me. I'm gonna solve this mystery in a flash. And hurry up, dumbass! one of the bodies in one of the towers was actually a dummy!
No, that's wrong! Nekomaru's body wasn't a dummy. That can be proven by Kazuichi's account.
Me?
The two houses are connected vertically.
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
No, that's wrong! The elevator wasn't just moving vertically. Isn't that right, Kazuichi?
Huh? Me?
Come on. You used the elevator while you were holding that compass Nagito gave you, right?
Ah, that. Yeah, it was pretty strange. From start to finish, somehow the compass needle rotated 180 degrees.
When the elevator is on the first floor, you can't go through the door on the fourth floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside.
No, that's wrong! That sensor should only work if something is moving. If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?!
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is...
The hammer is suspicious. Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
I agree with that! Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it? That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob...
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair!
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
Huh? We headed for Great Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion!
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
No, that's wrong! No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
I agree with that.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well...
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses!
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House...
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible!
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
No, that's wrong!
No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist!
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
The killer didn't take Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds...
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong!
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
The direct cause of the fire was... the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused...
I agree with that. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought! It was the wind pressure! A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan!
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
No, that's wrong! Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that! The life-sized Monokuma plushie! He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
Alright, let's do this.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong! Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain. But it's not the only unnatural bloodstain.
Let us consider a different fatal wound.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right? It's not the other wounds, right?
With all those wounds, maybe he simply bled to death.
There's no way he burned to death.
Was the cause of death something that cannot be seen?
I agree with that. totally forgot about that possibility. If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden? There is just no way!
But then nobody will be saved!
Chiaki is not the traitor!
When we were trying to turn off the bomb, didn't Chiaki use the card reader right away?
If she's a traitor, she would have been more cautious! There's no way Chiaki would have known if that bomb was fake or not! The only person who knew it was a fake was me, when I tried to detonate it!
That's not it! That's not it. Sonia shouldn't have been the only one who knew it was a fake. Monami was also there when you found out the bomb at the military base wasn't real. You said so yourself.
Is that true, Miss Sonia?
Chiaki heard about it from Monami. That's why she knew the bomb was a fake.
Is there any evidence that this is really a game world?
You are the evidence!
What does that mean?
Your avatar's made of memories from before you entered the school! But your actual bodies in the real world are different. Though you have no memories of your time living your school life, your real bodies actually lived that life!
That must be it! Earlier, in the teacher's lounge.
The Neo World program was developed by the Future Foundation, right?
The ones who trapped us in here. It's all the Future Foundation's doing, right?
And the enemy is the Future Foundation! I mean, a group that would make a killing game.
No, that's wrong!
Originally, in the world...
There's obviously some kind of mistake. There's no way we're ultimate despair.
Because you're all ultimate despair. You killed your friends and family. And you even destroyed your own bodies.
That must be it! That memory I felt was actually a memory from the real world. What Nagito did was...
I said I'm going to save you guys. Why aren't you listening to me?
Let's do what he says and get out of here. I mean, the Future Foundation's the good guys, right?
Apparently, we are actually the bad guys.
It's fine to trust him, right? The Future Foundation is the world's hope! No one can defy the Future Foundation!
No, that's wrong! Hold on! Did you say it's foolish to defy the Future Foundation?
Good news, Hajime! Even though you were mocked for being a reserve course student, he had a talent all along! Ultimate hope!
How can someone from the reserve course have such an amazing talent like that?
In order to hide Izuru's identity. Was he hidden in the reserve course?
Then Hajime's name is fake?
There's no doubt I'm Hajime Hinata! I've always had that name ever since I was born!
Then Izuru is your fake name?
Hey, you weren't lying to us, right?
I do not want any more last-minute plot twists.
Could it be created hope?
That must be it!
Damn it! Why'd it turn out like this?
If everyone can overcome despair, you guys should be able to grasp true hope.
If our memories up until now disappear, I will not even remember the reason everybody died.
Are you really going to let her take over your friends' bodies?
You might think I'm a fool, but I want to see Peko one more time.
If we turn back into ultimate despair, the Future Foundation might kill us, right?
We won't let them do that. This is all the Future Foundation's fault.
They're the ones who stuck us in this messed up world!
For your protection.
If Junko escapes to the real world, there will be countless victims again.
I know, but
Everyone's hope is in conflict. Such despair!
I can't do it.
Huh? You can't do it?
I can't choose. You guys are telling us the world's going to be destroyed unless we sacrifice ourselves, and...
all right! A game reset!
And with this, the world will continue to loop.
An eternal game utopia sounds like fun.
I guess it's fine to stay like this for a while.
Young master, that is a wise call.
Yay! You didn't have to forget us!
Yes, there's no way I would forget.
And with this, Junko's gone.
All right, let's party! I'm gonna showcase my full cooking ability.
Just leave the BGM to Ibuki!
Hey, can I take a picture to commemorate this?
Want to be awed by the sight of my prowess?
I've prepared you a training regiment.
If you get hurt, let me know.
Should I begin with a brief introduction of myself?
After all this time?
All right! A game reset!
And with this, the world will continue to loop.
An eternal game utopia sounds like fun.
I guess it's fine to stay like this for a while.
Young master, that is a wise call.
Yay! You didn't have to forget us!
Yes, there's no way I would forget.
And with this, Junko's gone.
All right, let's party! I'm gonna showcase my full cooking ability.
Just leave the BGM to Ibuki!
Hey, can I take a picture to commemorate this?
Want to be awed by the sight of my prowess?
I've prepared you a training regiment.
If you get hurt, let me know.
Should I begin with a brief introduction of myself?
After all this time?
That's not it. You guys aren't part of the game, right?
All right! A game reset!
And with this, the world will continue to loop.
An eternal game utopia sounds like fun.
This world.
I have no talent at all. I was even betrayed by the academy I admired so much. I don't want to disappear. I'm not Izuru Kamukura. Who cares what will happen to the world? I don't want to sacrifice myself. It's not like I'll be appreciated anyway. There's no way we can beat Junko. It's the Future Foundation's fault. Not mine. I can't choose the future.
See, if you just do it, things will turn out okay. You should even be able to create the future.
I have no talent at all. I was even betrayed by the academy I admired so much. I don't want to disappear. I'm not Izuru Kamukura. Who cares what will happen to the world? I don't want to sacrifice myself. It's not like I'll be appreciated anyway. There's no way we can beat Junko. It's the Future Foundation's fault. Even so, not mine. Even so, I can't choose the future. Even so,
No matter what kind of future it is, as long as you guys move toward it, I will never disappear. Everything that happened here, it won't be meaningless. If you guys carried the burden of both hope and despair, you should even be able to create the future, even if it's a convenient miracle. If you just do it, things will turn out okay. That's why you can't hesitate now. Resolve to throw everything away and give it everything you got. I'll be cheering for you too.
That reminds me. I forgot to say it again.
If the memories we made here disappear, I will not even remember why everyone died.
If we don't rid the world of despair, the tragedy will start once again.
I want to see Becca one more time. If we turn back into ultimate despair, we might be killed by the Future Foundation, right?
This is your responsibility, since you're the ones who fell to despair.
It's not my responsibility. It's the Future Foundation's.
They're both hope and they're both despair. A conclusion will never be fucking reached.
You can't lose hope!
If the memories we made here disappear, I will not even remember why everyone died.
You can't lose hope!
If the memories we made here disappear, I will not even remember why everyone died.
If we don't rid the world of despair, the tragedy will start once again.
I want to see Becca one more time. If we turn back into ultimate, we might be killed by the Future Foundation.
This is your responsibility.
It's not my responsibility. It's the Future Foundation's.
They're both hope and they're both despair. A conclusion will never be fucking...
No, that's wrong!
There won't just be hope. There will probably be a lot of despair, too.
Rantaro's body was found just before the time limit, right?
He was killed in the library.
Rantaro was alone in the library. The culprit could have snuck up on him.
What was he even doing in the library anyway?
He was opening that moving bookcase for one reason. Because he knew about the hidden door. That means Rantaro was masterminding this whole thing!
No, that's wrong! Wait a minute. I don't think Rantaro was the mastermind.
Huh? Why?
Because Rantaro didn't have the card key to open the hidden door. You'd think the mastermind would have that card key on him, right?
Perhaps the culprit took the card key after killing Rantaro. But none of the pictures show Rantaro holding the card key. So I don't really think he had the key at all.
Why don't you just admit it already? You're the culprit, aren't you, Mew?
No way! That's not possible!
So you knew nothing about the trap in the library?
I'm telling you, I had no idea! Not like it matters. Because I never went to the library, okay? I agree with that. I don't think Mew went to the basement either. Right, Kyo?
Of course she didn't. Mew was in the dining hall during the murder. I saw her there while dining on what I thought would be my last supper.
Gonta not culprit! Cause to leave AV room, Gonta must walk through game room where friends are. To even reach hallway.
If you can't get to the hallway, you can't go to the library.
AV room's got more than one entrance, though. There should have been a door facing the hallway, too.
The sliding door across from the rear entrance, correct?
With that sliding door... No, that's wrong! It's not possible to use the sliding door. You saying I'm wrong? You got a lot of ass to be contradicting me.
Did you mean to say sass? I think you left out an S.
The sliding door always jams. You're only able to open it a crack. The only part of your body that would be able to go through is your arm.
And there was no indication of a door being forced. There was dust on the track.
So we agree, Gonta's the culprit!
Gonta not culprit! Honest!
A typical degenerate male excuse.
Rantaro's corpse and the AV room door do line up with one another. There are no obstacles in the way.
No, that's wrong! It would have been impossible for Gonta to have thrown that shot from the AV room. Because there was an obstacle between Rantaro and Gonta.
Obstacle? The moving bookcase. When Rantaro was killed, it should have been open.
Yup, that's our evidence. The bookcase door was open when he was killed.
Atua says I should continue explaining on his behalf. Yap! Ha ha ha! Only Atua knows the truth behind this incident! The culprit was hiding in the library the whole time, before Kaede and Shuichi even placed the cameras.
Where would they have hidden?
Inside the hidden door!
No, that's wrong! Wait a minute, Angie. I don't think it was possible to hide in the hidden door.
What? You dare challenge Atua?
I don't think the hidden door was ever used. While investigating the mastermind, I placed dust on the card reader. If anyone swiped their card key, the dust would have fallen.
We already confirmed during the investigation that there was no dust on the floor. The bookcase hadn't been opened, so I doubt anyone was hiding in there.
The security sensor was armed, but the moving bookcase isn't what triggered it.
No, that's wrong!
Wait a minute. This is weird. If the security sensor wasn't placed, then... we wouldn't have been able to take that picture. We were only able to get it because the sensor was triggered by the hidden door.
Let's go over the case one more time.
The security sensor was placed on the moving bookcase. Shuichi also had the receiver.
Let's turn this lie into the truth! Sorry, you guys. I forgot to tell you something important.
Forgot?
To tell you the truth, it was me. I had the receiver.
Huh?
So that's why there's no way Shuichi could have turned off the receiver. I have an alibi. When Rantaro was killed, I was in the classroom standing watch with Shuichi.
Komaeda never saw Rantaro. And how'd she kill him?
It's important to establish where the culprit used the shot. We know that it was in the library.
That's wrong!
Komaeda didn't use the shot put ball at the scene of the crime. She used it at the first floor classroom, where we were keeping watch.
The shot that fell from the vent. How did it strike Rantaro's head from that distance?
Yeah, that's impossible!
It's not like it started rolling on its own. And fell off the bookcase onto Rantaro's head.
Maybe the shot was on the floor. And Rantaro tripped over it, causing him to hit his head on the bookcase?
Watch out so you don't slip and fall!
What if Rantaro's corpse moved on its own?
Like he was standing under the vent when the shot hit his head. Then he walked a few steps before he finally dropped dead!
Hey, Shuichi. Don't lose sight of the truth.
I'll reveal the truth!
Well, actually, maybe the shot didn't pass through the vent.
Did you not just tell us that the shot traveled through the vent?
That's true, but I just remembered the library's vent was closed.
The vent was closed?
So I think my deduction might be wrong.
Shuichi? I see. Shuichi, we both investigated the vent, but you misunderstood something.
What?
I closed the vent grate while we were investigating, but it was open before.
Does this mean Shuichi's testimony was based on a misunderstanding?
No, that's a lie.
It's not a lie, but depending on your deduction, it could become a lie. Shuichi, please answer the question. How did the shot reach Rantaro? You know the answer. You just heard it during the debate.
It's just like Ryoma said. The shot rolled along the top of the bookcase and fell on Rantaro's head.
Rolled along the bookcase?
The shot that fell from the vent. How did it strike Rantaro's head from that distance?
Yeah, that's impossible!
It's not like it started rolling on its own.
I agree!
It's just like Ryoma said. The shot rolled along the top of the bookcase and fell on Rantaro's head.
Rolled along the bookcase?
I did say that, but would the shot have rolled that conveniently?
What?
Don't worry, Kaede. I'll clear your name. I refuse to believe that Kaede is the culprit. I still have my doubts.
Kinda doubts.
Doubts about the noise, of course. The library should have been quiet, right? That's wrong!
The murder occurred while the Killing Game promotional video was being broadcast. So the library would not have been completely quiet at the time.
Has blessed me with an epiphany. The culprit used the underwater escape trick to pull off a sneaky switcheroo with Ryoma.
After that, the time ran out. The tank above Ryoma opened and piranhas came pouring out.
And he was eaten alive!
Eaten to bone by piranhas. Savage way to go.
No, that's wrong. The underwater escape was no trick, it's magic!
I'll reveal the truth!
Maybe Himiko is right. The underwater escape might be real magic. Because from what I've seen, there is no trick or gimmick in that tank.
Yeah, see? Shuichi agrees. There's no trick. It's magic.
Himiko, why do you look so surprised?
Wait up, Shuichi! Why are you trying to white knight your way into Himiko's heart? Just so you know, Himiko has already chosen me as her one and only soulmate.
But if that trick was actual magic, then I'm more inclined to believe she's the culprit.
If you can perform mysterious miracles, couldn't you have just swapped places with Ryoma? What? No, wait. Ryoma couldn't have been killed by the piranhas. Because the piranhas I used in my show are special. They only eat dead flesh.
Only dead flesh?
That is a new fact.
What the? Are you just pretending to be nice to Himiko so she'll tell us the truth?
No, that's not it.
Huh? Are you sure it wasn't the piranhas? We saw Ryoma reduced to bones. He totally died from all the piranhas' chops, right?
No, Ryoma's death was not caused by the piranhas. The Monokuma file indicates the cause of death is drowning.
So it wasn't the piranhas then. He was drowned.
Ooh, I see. I haven't checked the Monokuma file yet, so that's news to me.
Atua has blessed me with an epiphany. The culprit used the underwater escape trick to pull off a sneaky switcheroo with Ryoma.
After that, the time ran out. The tank above Ryoma opened and piranhas came pouring out.
And he was eaten alive!
That's wrong!
No, Ryoma's death was not caused by the piranhas. The Monokuma file indicates the cause of death is drowning.
So it wasn't the piranhas then. He was drowned.
Ooh.
How did Himiko escape the water tank?
Maybe she just climbed out and no one noticed.
Nah, she definitely would have been caught.
Perhaps the mechanism was set up on the stage.
The curtain covering the tank was certainly suspicious.
What about that square pane of glass we found in the tank?
Maybe the tank had a secret hatch.
I agree!
Maki is correct. There was an escape hatch on that tank.
I see. So it did have one.
So until this body takes its final breath, I'm gonna keep believing in Himiko!
The only one who could have switched out Ryoma's body is Himiko herself.
When Himiko was escaping the tank, she dragged out the body hidden in the stairs and simply switched places with it.
Are you telling me you saw that happen?
No one could have seen that. It would have occurred in the middle of the show, when the tank was covered with a curtain.
So basically, no one saw anything. That's wrong!
Someone did see inside the tank. It was Gonta.
Where were you hiding Ryoma's body?
It wasn't really in the stairs, was it?
After all, there was only enough space for Himiko.
Well, how about behind the curtain?
If there was a way to enter the tank from there, then it would be plausible.
Or maybe the body was in the tank all along, but we just couldn't see it.
Impossible. You'd need top-notch visual effects to pull that off.
And what of the tank containing the piranhas?
No way! If you put a body in there, the piranhas would have eaten it way before we saw it!
But if the body and piranhas were separated...
I agree!
Kyo's hypothesis is correct. The body and the piranhas were separated. This was accomplished using the square glass pane found in the tank.
We met with Ryoma the previous night.
What a load of crap!
Maki only see Ryoma at night?
Yes, I didn't meet with anyone else.
Did anyone see those two together?
Surely they would have come forward already.
If no one can prove that this meeting took place,
I'll reveal the truth. I might not be able to prove they met, but I can prove Maki wasn't alone.
oh, Please explain.
Thank you, Maki. That was a helpful insight.
I can't believe you didn't notice that. I guess that's why you're still an apprentice. First, let's establish the crime scene.
Wasn't it the dorm room? Ryoma was relaxing in his room when he got attacked.
But the cause of death was drowning. There is nothing in his room that could collect enough water.
He's got a toilet, doesn't he?
Drowning toilets? Impossible!
We should consider places where water is stored.
The only place that fits is the pool.
That's wrong!
The pool could not have been the scene of the murder. Ryoma was killed at nighttime. No swimming is allowed at nighttime, so a living person could not have gone in.
I, of course, am not the culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us do not have it.
I have evidence that proves you're the culprit.
Do you think we would fall for such nonsense?
The trick relied on complex mechanisms to work. But someone like you could be skilled enough to pull it off.
Preposterous. That could have been done by anyone.
That's wrong!
No. The only person who could have prepared this murder is Kirumi. Well, the preparations in the gym in any case.
And why do you believe that?
Before the culprit could put the body into the tank, several steps needed to be taken.
Like tying the rope to the gym window and putting a partition in the piranha tank.
That's right. Ryoma's body entered the gym from the window, but that required preparation.
I, of course, am not the culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us do not have it.
I'll reveal the truth! Maybe we can't prove everyone's alibi, but we can still pinpoint the culprit.
How so?
Last night, Kaito and I heard Maki speaking with Ryoma. But I haven't mentioned what happened after. Kirumi, any thoughts?
Did you return to your respective dorm rooms?
Yes, we did. But I couldn't fall asleep, so I was awake until morning, which allowed me to hear a certain sound in the night.
A certain sound?
Last night, I heard the sound of someone leaving their room and exiting the dorm. And after some time, I heard the sound of them returning.
Could it have been the culprit? But all you heard was a sound? That doesn't mean you know who made it.
Indeed, it doesn't. But I didn't hear the sound of someone going down the stairs. Which must mean that whoever left has a room on the first floor. No one on the second floor left the dorm that night.
So everyone on the second floor has an alibi? You cannot determine the culprit with just that.
On the contrary, once we rule out the second floor, we know who the culprit is. Because preparing the ropeway required time to be spent in the gym. It's extremely likely that the culprit helped set up the magic show. In short, Himiko, Angie, Kaito, or Kirumi.
I see. So among the four, the only one with a room on the first floor of the dorms is...
Yes, only Kirumi.
You heard a sound, huh? Well, I hear a load of BS. But unfortunately for you, Kirumi, your time's up. We already know you're the only one capable of setting all this up. Right, Shuichi?
Right. The only person who could have prepared this murder is Kirumi. Well, the preparations in the gym in any case.
And why do you believe that?
Before the culprit could put the body into the tank, several steps needed to be taken.
Like tying the rope to the gym window and putting a partition in the piranha tank.
That's right.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates!
No! So, ritual did work? That's wrong!
I don't think Angie's ritual succeeded.
Don't play dumb with me, Creepshow! I already know what happened! The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kiyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kiyo, automatically suspicious!
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kiyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in.
That's wrong!
No, Kiyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab. Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer. The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean Kibo's flashlight. Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor.
I'll reveal the truth.
Mew, you gave Kibo his flashlight function, correct? Did you not notice?
I didn't notice what?
The drawback of the flashlight function that you added. It's so bright, even Kibo can't see when it's turned on.
I see. That bright, huh? Wait, what? There's no way a genius like me would make that kind of rookie mistake!
But you make mistakes a lot. A whole lot.
Hey! If you're gonna fuck me in front of everyone, at least buy me dinner first!
If he can't see, it doesn't matter how bright the area is. He couldn't move like that. So Kibo couldn't have been underneath the floor.
Is that true, Kibo?
Is what Shuichi said true?
Well, I'm so sorry. I just don't remember. Really, I'm sorry.
Ah, we get it already! Just turn it off! We're gonna go blind!
You don't remember? What does that even mean?
Well, Shuichi, trying to make a fool out of me, huh? Let me put on some makeup, cause I want to at least look pretty before you decide to fuck me!
That's
Shuichi, I'm so sorry.
Damn, that is seriously bright!
Wouldn't the light have shined through the gaps of the floorboard if it had been this bright?
Yes. The culprit couldn't have used a light under the floor. Not even Kibo.
Oh, they couldn't have?
We were there after all. We would know. There was a hole near the corner of the room we were in, remember? If someone had a light under the floor, it would have leaked through.
But when we did the seance, I'm pretty sure the room was pitch black.
Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer. The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
That's wrong!
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains! When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
That's wrong!
No, it wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person!
But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly grabbed a sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength,
I'll reveal the truth! Tenko couldn't have thrown the sickle under the floor. Because she died instantly.
instantly,
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was perfect, yet it failed. How utterly strange.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
I agree!
Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
All right then, let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now. So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound. Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hid under floor, then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard. I agree.
Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
Performing the seance in that room was Himiko's decision, wasn't it?
What if someone steered her into picking that room?
Of the 3 empty rooms, why did you select the middle room? Because you laid your trap.
Was trap only in that room? Other rooms may be trapped too.
I agree.
It's just like Gonta said. Each room was the same. They were all trapped.
What? Is that true?
Kokichi will tell you.
I was way too careless. Wait, what are you talking about?
Performing the seance in that room was Himiko's decision, wasn't it?
What if someone steered her into picking that room?
I'll reveal the truth.
Tsumugi is correct. I believe Himiko was being set up. Himiko only picked that room because Kiyo wanted it as dark as possible.
Even if Himiko did choose an empty room because of what Kiyo said, are you saying she chose the middle room by pure coincidence?
The culprit gambled on the middle room being picked through coincidence? That seems highly improbable.
No more. I told you, it's too much of a pain. Just do the voting or whatever.
I'm pretty sure it didn't matter which room Himiko chose.
What do you mean?
It's getting kind of boring, so I'll explain. She didn't choose the middle by coincidence. Each room was the same to begin with.
Each room
See?
Remember what Gonta said earlier? Maybe the culprit placed traps in all the rooms? Well, that was correct. Before the trial, I hurt myself checking all the rooms.
Ah, that's right.
The art research lab is not where Angie was killed. She was killed in the empty room instead!
She left her lab on her own?
But why would she go into an empty room? There shouldn't have been anything in there. Except for candles.
That's it! She wanted a candle!
I agree!
That's it. Angie went to that room to get a candle.
Yeah, for kinky wax play!
No. Angie was gonna use it for the ritual.
Kaito logged out first, by himself. Miu was still logged in, though. That's when you poisoned her, right, Kaito?
That's wrong!
Miu wasn't killed by poison, and the warning on the label proves it. Drinking the poison would result in subconjunctival hemorrhaging. In other words, your eyes would be bloodshot.
Oh, but Miu's body. That's right. Her eyes weren't bloodshot. She wasn't killed by that poison.
Then what was that poison for? Kaito logged out first, by himself. Miu was still logged in, though. That's when you poisoned her, right, Kaito?
I'll reveal the truth!
Wait a minute, Kokichi. Miu couldn't have been killed with poison. And it's much too early to decide that Kaito is the culprit.
But why? I think it's already too late. You guys are taking so long to realize that people can kill others in a snap.
Have you forgotten? The bottle we found at the scene was an antidote, not a poison. It's not like Miu could have been killed by an antidote.
What? Are you serious here? Come on, Shuichi. That bottle definitely had poison in it. Didn't we check the label?
Is this fun for you? Messing with the trial?
Well, I mean, this is where it gets fun for both me and the culprit. So what's this talk about an antidote? We'll just say you misunderstood the whole thing, Shuichi. We all know you wouldn't lie.
Of course. I'm sorry. I was just misremembering. But Kokichi, you're misremembering as well. You were the one who told us about the warnings on the label. If you remember what was on that label, you'll see that your argument is flawed.
What warnings? Was there something like that on the label?
So what does that mean?
It means that Miu couldn't have been killed with poison. That's what I'm trying to say.
What if you're mistaken about the antidote, Shuichi?
Right. Well, for now, forget the antidote. Let's focus on exactly what was written on that warning label. drinking the poison would result in subconjunctival hemorrhaging. In other words, your eyes would be bloodshot.
Oh, but Miu's body. That's right. Her eyes weren't bloodshot. She wasn't killed by that poison.
Then what was that poison for?
In the virtual world, Miu was fatally injured. So let's focus our efforts on that first.
Whoever did that to Miu was dropped right next to her avatar. It has to be the hammer!
Or going to beat her with his bare hands.
Are we certain that blunt force was involved? I think strangulation is more likely.
I agree!
Miu's body showed severe trauma and signs of a struggle.
Yeah, she looked like she suffered. Very hard to look at.
Right. And the virtual world is connected to our 5 senses. If her body experienced pain, she must have been in pain in the virtual world as well. Knowing that, I believe Maki is correct. Miu was strangled to death.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's assume that Miu brought the hammer. What was she planning to do with it?
Maybe use it to break down a wall?
Uses for a hammer.
Gonta no! Miu gonna build stuff with hammer!
She probably just brought it for self-defense.
Or she secretly met up with someone.
I agree!
Miu was gonna meet up with someone in the virtual world.
Mm-hmm. With me. I was supposed to meet up with Miu on the roof of the mansion. She placed the poison on my seat to make us think the murder happened in the real world.
She did that too?
What? Miu was the one who put that poison bottle there? No, that ain't right! Something's definitely weird about that! When could Miu have put the poison there?
If she did place the poison without us noticing, then she must have logged out at some point.
And then what? Log back in?
Kokichi, weren't you in the salon around that time? Did you see her log in or log out at all?
Nope, I didn't see that at all.
If she hadn't logged in or out, then Miu couldn't have placed the poison. That's wrong!
It was Miu who planted the poison on Kokichi's chair. She had plenty of time to do it. Here, take a look at this.
Is this a record of who went in and out of the virtual world?
That's right. It says that Miu was the last of us to log in.
Yeah, what about it?
If she logged in last, she would have had time to move around in the real world after the previous person logged in.
That right! She could have placed poison bottle on Kokichi's seat!
This was all part of Miu's plan. Miu was waiting for me to arrive. I'm sure she was waiting on the rooftop of the mansion.
No. Miu should have been at the chapel.
That's wrong!
Miu must have gone to the mansion. We have a witness.
Yeah. When I was searching the dining room,
I saw Mew pass by the window.
Then why didn't you say so sooner?
No worries, guys. As long as we leave it to Shuichi, everything will be A-okay.
What are you saying? We can't just rely on Shuichi all the time. This class trial's for all of us. We're here to solve this together.
You would just slow down Shuichi.
Shut up!
The way across that only Mew knew about.
Like a hidden bridge besides that signboard, maybe.
Or instead of bridge, Mew used some kind of vehicle to go over.
Or maybe she teleported with magic. Or she used a warp zone.
Maybe there's a place you could cross without a bridge.
A hidden route that only Mew could use to get across.
I agree!
That's it, Kibo. There was a hidden route only Mew could use.
Was there really?
Mew modified the program to add a special wall to the world.
Even if her avatar slid off the roof, would it slide off that quickly?
Well, duh, it would.
If it made that much noise, it must have built up a lot of speed.
Lots of snow piled up on roof. But not frozen solid, right?
You'd still slide, though.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
That's not the issue. Sliding down snow is easy to do. You just need a sled or skis to cut the friction.
There was nothing like that around, though. That's wrong!
No, wait. There was something that could have been used to help slide Mew's body. Do you remember the lattice that was found by Mew's avatar? The culprit laid her on top of that, then used it as a sled on the roof. I did notice the lattice in the storage room when I first looked. But during the investigation, I saw that it was gone.
The lattice that was found next to the chapel is the one that disappeared from the roof? Then that's it! The culprit used the lattice as a sled!
Ding, ding, ding! That's correct!
Even if her avatar slid off the roof, would it slide off that quickly?
Well, duh, it would.
If it made that much noise, it must have built up a lot of speed.
Lots of snow piled up on roof. But not frozen solid, right?
You'd still slide, though.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
That's not the issue. Sliding down snow is easy to do. You just need a sled or skis to cut the friction.
There was nothing like that around. I only revealed the truth.
There was something the culprit could have used to slide the body. The signboard.
The signboard?
You put Mew's body on top and use it as a kind of sled.
You could use it to slide the body, but the signboard we used as a bridge was the only one. The culprit couldn't have used that signboard as a sled.
there was another signboard.
Huh? Another one?
Do you remember the first time I went to get the signboard? There were actually two there, but I only brought one. The culprit must have used the other one as a sled.
But then why did Mew say there was only one signboard?
To mislead us. She was planning a crime after all.
Pooh! Pooh! Oh my god! That line was so cringy! Stop, my stomach hurts! Wow! Shuichi is lying on purpose! Are you trying to spice up the class trial too?
What Shuichi just said was a lie?
Kokichi, I was the only one who went and got the signboard. Only I saw them. So why do you think I'm lying?
Because I know. I know the culprit. And the whole trick. What?
Then tell us! We can put an end to this class trial right now!
I could tell you, but I think we should save the best for last. Even if I told you, would you guys really believe a liar like me? I could be lying about knowing who the culprit is for all you know.
What?
This doesn't mean all of Shuichi's deductions are lies, you know. You're right about the culprit putting Mew on a sled and sliding her down the roof. But instead of a sled, they used that thing from the storage room on the roof.
You mean the lattice, right? When I first looked in the storage room on the roof, I saw the lattice there. But during the investigation, I saw that it was gone.
The lattice that was found next to the chapel is the one that disappeared from the roof? Then that's it! The culprit used the lattice as a sled!
Ding, ding, ding! That's correct!
What's this all about, Kokichi? Did you actually go to the rooftop?
I didn't! I already told you that before!
Why you look so nervous?
Is this a sincere reaction?
But there's no evidence that proves I went to the roof. Wait, I remember now. That thing Himiko said.
Me?
At the start of the class trial, I remember you saying the handrail was made of bricks. Ooh, you so clumsy, girl. Gotta be more careful there, Himiko.
Was it my fault?
Himiko really say that?
She totally said that!
No, she didn't!
Yes, she did.
She did not!
She did too!
Then when? Tell me how long ago. In hours, minutes, and seconds.
What a worthless fight!
Stop it, Grandpa! All this terrible fighting is bad for the baby!
Yeah, Grandfather! Stop them before your grandkid is born!
I'm not gonna apologize, cause Himiko said it!
So damn stubborn!
How much longer are you going to behave like this?
I didn't go to the roof!
I've had enough of your lies, man!
I'm not lying! The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it!
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon the whole time, you know?
I'll reveal the truth! Kokichi, you're lying right now, aren't you?
Huh? Lying about what?
Just before the murder occurred, I went to the salon to check on you. But you weren't there.
What? Really?
I waited there for a while. You never showed up.
What's this all about, Kokichi? Didn't you go right back to the salon after finding the roof door locked?
I see. You use underhanded tactics too, huh, Shuichi? So who are you guys gonna believe? Shuichi or me?
Well, of course I'm gonna believe Shuichi.
I believe Shuichi 100%.
The one who's not Kokichi.
100 house points. No, Himiko points to Shuichi.
But to go to the salon, Shuichi would need to pass by me in the dining room. I wonder why I didn't notice Shuichi there. Oh well, I'll believe Shuichi anyway. He's usually right about stuff.
Sorry, but I'm going to believe Shuichi too.
I see. I wanted at least Gonta to believe me.
What comes around goes around. That's what happens to liars like you.
Then let me ask you guys. If it's not Gonta, then who's the culprit?
You, of course!
Come on! There's already proof that I couldn't have killed Mew!
There's already proof?
Oh, did you forget already? Then let me make it clear again. Why I can't be the culprit! I am not the culprit. Didn't I prove that to you guys already? The clue is how Mew was killed.
You got strangled to death, right?
Toilet paper was the murder weapon.
Mew would have totally resisted if she was being strangled, right? Then it would have been impossible for someone as weak as me!
You talking about the strength of your virtual avatar? That wouldn't matter if you strangled her from behind.
In which case, even if she did resist, the most she could have done is merely touch the culprit.
Exactly. She couldn't struggle much. So you could have kept strangling her, no problem. That's wrong!
Actually, maybe it wasn't possible for Kokichi to strangle Mew.
Why wasn't it possible?
Mew modified my avatar, so if she attacked me, I wouldn't be able to resist. If Mew touched me, then I'd be unable to move.
Huh?
So I would have had to kill her instantly, such as stabbing or hitting. I couldn't have murdered her by strangulation, because it'd be game over if she touched me.
Well, if you were using the toilet paper, you wouldn't need to touch her directly.
But if you can't be touched while you're wrapping the toilet paper around her neck, then it would be impossible.
Which means, as long as she died from strangulation, it couldn't have been me.
Wait! What if it was something besides strangulation then? Like...
There's no doubt Mew was strangled. We already discussed this.
Kaido is really desperate to make me the culprit.
The victim has to be Kaito.
Kaito was taken prisoner by Kokichi, so he could have killed him whenever he wanted.
And the hydraulic press had his clothes inside.
Kokichi can't be the victim because there's no evidence there.
That's wrong!
I have evidence that points to Kokichi being the victim. I found this in the hangar.
Is that Kokichi's coat?
Yes, and look here. There are bloodstains on the sleeve. That would indicate that Kokichi suffered an external injury, correct?
Kokichi was injured.
The fact that these were flushed down the toilet implies that they are evidence of crime.
It's fine, because Kokichi is the culprit. He killed Kaito. No matter how much he deceives us, it won't change our minds. The footage shows he did it. Kokichi has to be the only option. There's no doubt that Kokichi is the culprit. We all saw that footage from earlier, right?
Kaito got crushed to death.
That's wrong! The safety function would make it impossible to kill Kaito with the press.
A safety function?
Yes, it was written on the safety precautions. The hydraulic press will automatically stop if its infrared sensor detects a living organism.
So the hydraulic press won't move at all if there's a living person under it?
Which is why it couldn't have been used to kill Kaito.
There's no doubt that Kokichi is the culprit. We all saw that footage from earlier, right?
Kaito got crushed to death.
I'll reveal the truth. I still don't believe it. Is that video real? It could have been edited to make it look like Kaito was killed by the press.
Damn right! There's no way this luminary of the stars would die that easily.
Kaito again?
Would you have liked it better if it turned out like that? You wish. Like I said, that footage isn't edited at all. It recorded the event completely as is. Kaito was crushed! His bones went crunch and his organs went squish!
I remembered the video and all my bittersweet memories of him.
Hold those memories within you, or they'll just escape as sour vomit.
But we all know Kokichi loves to lie, and that he's a remnant of despair. That leads me to believe there's something he's not telling us about that video. I don't think that video showed the murder at all. All we saw was a living body.
A living body?
I don't blame you for not believing it. It's hard to believe a smug idiot like Kaito got squished like a bug, right? But your lie won't work here, Shuichi. No, what you said isn't even a lie. It's just wishful thinking.
Isn't this enough? Kokichi is the culprit. He brought the evidence and even confessed to the murder.
That doesn't make sense. Not even Kokichi would do something that stupid.
Is common sense going to work here? On the remnants of despair, I mean?
Oh, a hit! I got a hit! Shuichi, I got a hit containing some important info.
A hit?
The word living stuck out to me, so I ran a search for that word in my memory bank. And there was one hit.
Do you mean you remembered something?
What important info was in your search hit?
The living organism detector that we found when we investigated the press. The existence of this detector refutes the very premise of this discussion.
Of course! The safety function. The video does not show Kaito's murder.
The safety function.
Yes, it was written on the safety precautions. The hydraulic press will automatically stop if its infrared sensor detects a living organism.
So the hydraulic press won't move at all if there's a living person under it?
Which is why it couldn't have been used to kill Kaito.
He's just playing with us.
Then let's show him that playtime is over. Let's show him that the students of Hope's Peak Academy will never submit to despair.
Hope? Despair? I wonder who shot Kaito with the crossbow. What a mystery, right guys?
Who else but you could have done it?
The shot would need to be fired from inside the hangar to hit Kaito.
That's wrong! Even without going in the hangar, it was possible to land a shot with a crossbow. There was a window in the bathroom of the hangar. Maybe it wasn't possible to get in, but you could have shot through the window. And remember that Kaito was confined to the bathroom.
Not you! If you believe me, it makes me look like I'm lying! I'm not the culprit!
Yeah, I totally agree.
I only carried the keys.
Yep, that's true too.
And I didn't even use the crossbow!
True statement.
And that's all! I didn't do anything else in the hangar!
100% exactamundo!
Why does this all sound so fishy?
Ah! 'Cause Kokichi won't shut up! Get out of my head, Kokichi! I'm not the culprit!
Yeah, I totally agree.
I only carried the keys.
Yep, that's true too.
And I didn't even use the crossbow!
I agree! I don't think Himiko used the crossbow. More accurately, she couldn't use it.
Couldn't use it? Why not?
The crossbow inside this case was disassembled. Kaito and I learned how to assemble the crossbow from Maki, so we could have done it. But I don't believe someone without the proper training could have assembled it.
Alrighty then! Let the debate begin! When the crossbow fired, what was even going on?
As if you need to ask, you were there!
The crossbow was in Kaito's possession first. He probably fired the first shot at Kokichi too.
Then Kokichi disarmed Kaito, took the crossbow, and returned fire.
I didn't take the crossbow from Kaito. I secretly brought a different one!
But only one crossbow was taken. The other two are still in my research lab.
Still, only one arrow was fired.
That's wrong! Wait, Himiko. What do you mean, one arrow?
Well, I only gave Kaito one arrow, so.
Are you positive?
Of course! There's no way I got that wrong!
There's no way you can get through security if you pilot an exisal. It's not possible.
What? Not possible?
If someone was piloting the exisal, they could have used it to enter the hangar.
That's not possible.
Is operating the exisal really that difficult?
Do we even know how to get inside an exisal? Outside the hangar, there were 4 exisals. And they were all moving too.
I was controlling them remotely.
Electro hammers weren't an option. Yesterday, all the hammers were still recharging.
There's no way to stop an exisal. So getting inside one would have been impossible.
I'll reveal the truth! While investigating the exisals, I noticed that they have no locks on their cockpit hatches. It should have been possible to get into the cockpit, providing they could reach it.
But that's reckless, absurd, and useless. Jump inside a moving exisal? That's not really possible.
No, I think it is. You would need to be quick, agile, athletic, and stealthy. I can think of at least one person who fits that description.
What? Are you implying that it's...
Oh, I see. And since he's a robot, he could have some robo-communication function.
Huh? Was that directed at me? As I said, my speed, agility, and strength are equal to that of a human, if not weaker. So I cannot fight an exisal, and I certainly cannot communicate with one.
The selling point of being a robot is being good in combat, but... poor Kibo.
Please don't act like I drew the short straw.
Stop this pointless conversation, Shuichi. If you want to say something, say it already.
Maki, just to confirm. As the ultimate assassin, you would be able to jump into that exisal, correct?
Impossible. If I could do that, I would have turned the exisal into scrap on the first day.
Maybe. Unless you were hiding your true potential, in which case...
Stop messing around. Are you telling me to prove something I can't do? Do you really suspect me that much?
No, actually. I'm trying to find a way to prove that you couldn't be the intruder.
Fine then. I'll explain. There was another problem that doesn't involve my talent. You said earlier that the hatch doesn't have a lock, but that's incorrect. The exisal's hatch has an electronic lock, so it can't be opened from the outside.
What?
An electronic lock?
Yes. You can't open the hatch from the outside. It's impossible to get into the cockpit. Satisfied now?
How do you know there's an electronic lock on the exisal's hatch?
Because I checked it during the investigation.
That can't be true. I'm the only person Monokuma told about those locks.
Just you? I see. If that's the case, then you lied just to confirm if I knew about the electronic lock.
Yes, I did. And I'm sorry. I thought you were hiding something from me, Maki. I was confirming my suspicion. Now please, tell us the truth. How do you know about the hatch?
When Monokuma explained it to you, I just happened to overhear it, that's all.
You're lying, Maki. You know about the locks because you've been inside one of the cockpits.
So annoying. Do you want to die? You're the one who's lying.
Huh? That's a suspicious thing to say. Are you actually the culprit, Maki?
Either way, There's an electronic lock so you can't open the hatch from the outside. Because of that, no one could have entered the hangar piloting an exisal.
Maki's saying it's impossible, but there is a way to open the hatch.
Oh, you mean with your magic, right?
I won't say such a lame thing anymore. I can't stay a dreamer forever. That lock is electronic, so won't an electro hammer work on it? That would let you stop an exisal and open its hatch. Of course, my magic is also an option.
A dreamer to the end, huh?
True, with an electro hammer, that method might be possible. But the electro hammers were recharging yesterday, so entering an exisal would be...
Wait! Not all of the electro hammers were being charged. I know because I found one. There was a used electro hammer near Monokuma and the exisals.
That electro hammer used by the third party? Maybe they used it to disable an exisal!
Yes, I think so.
If someone was piloting the exisal, they could have used it to enter the hangar.
That's not possible.
Is operating the exisal really that difficult?
Do we even know how to get inside an exisal? Outside the hangar, there were 4 exisals. And they were all moving, too.
I was controlling them remotely.
The electro hammers weren't an option. Yesterday, all the hammers were still recharging.
That's wrong! Wait, not all of the electro hammers were being charged. I know because I found one. There was a used electro hammer near Monokuma and the exisals.
That electro hammer used by the third party? Maybe they used it to disable an exisal!
Yes, I think so.
I did attempt to enter the hangar. And I tried to destroy the control panel with my knife. At the time, the alarm system didn't go off.
But if you had approached the shutter, the alarm would have activated with 100% certainty.
That's wrong! There is a way to disable the alarm system. An electro bomb would take it down.
But Maki only had 1 bomb, and she used it during the raid this morning.
Then the only other person who could have used one is Kokichi, right?
Huh?
There must be some trick to that video.
That's what you all gotta figure out!
There is no trick. You can check, but there's no editing function in that camera.
Did the placement of that camera seem suspicious to any of you? The filming angle seemed unnatural, don't you think?
The person in that video... Was it really Kaito?
Something seems off about that video to me. When the hydraulic press stopped for a bit.
I agree! Kibo is onto something. Isn't it weird that the hydraulic press stopped for a second? Because when Kibo and I first investigated that hydraulic press...
Yes, that's right! The hydraulic press kept lowering itself without stopping. But in the
Can I just say something? I'd like to have one last conversation before we vote.
One last conversation?
There's more to talk about?
You see, before we vote, there's something I have to say. I just need you all to listen. All right, let's pin this down. Who is inside that exisal?
Kaito, right?
That's what you said, isn't it?
Kokichi's the one who died.
I'll reveal the truth. Kokichi, I'm sorry. I just can't lie for you anymore.
What?
What do you mean, lie?
Why did you say Kokichi? The one in the exisal is...
I'm so sorry, everyone. I've deceived you all.
Huh?
The truth is, after we found the crushed body, I saw Kokichi.
You saw Kokichi?
Yes. He threatened me, told me that if I didn't do what he said, he'd kill us all. He wanted me to lie about what I saw, so that the trial would be more interesting. But I can't do it anymore. I can't keep lying like this. I have to tell the truth. Kokichi isn't dead. He's alive.
Oh, hold on! Why did you wait until now to mention this?
I'm so sorry, Kibo, but it's true. Everyone, please, don't vote for Kaito. There's no doubt about it. Kokichi is in that exisal. He's the culprit.
Hey, Shuichi, I don't know what you're scheming. But as far as I'm concerned, you guys aren't extras at all. If you guys are wrong, you're gonna have to take your punishments like champs. Got it?
I'm not wrong. We can't vote for Kaito!
Stop it! That's enough!
Huh?
It's over. If you guys get it wrong and Monokuma gets it right, then you'll all get punished. There's no way I can let that happen. So, it's fine. Let's end this.
Rentaro went to the library just before Monokuma's time limit expired.
Using the information provided by the survivor code, he made his way to the hidden door.
To expose the identity of the mastermind.
But before he could achieve that goal, he got hit in the head with a shotgun while inside.
Because of Kaede's fully automatic killing machine! Fully automatic? There was no culprit at the scene. The only one in the library at the time of the murder was Rentaro himself!
That's wrong! No, Rentaro was not the only one in the library at the time the murder occurred. This survivor perk monopad is proof of that.
Hold on! There's a flaw in your logic.
What? What flaw?
Huh? Don't ask me! The Mono Cubs are gonna explain it.
What? Again?
Shut your logic without explaining why. That's the Monokuma debate style. Take it from here, Monokubs! And you better use your brains or I'll kill ya!
What are we arguing about again?
The hidden camera! Isn't it weird that the mastermind's not in any photos?
Unless they use the interval between shots.
The camera has a 30-second interval between shots. That's enough time to take the monopath from the body.
Then where was the mastermind hiding?
In the hidden room, of course!
If they were still inside the hidden room, how would they know what was happening in the library?
That's wrong!
The mastermind saw what was happening in the library. They had surveillance cameras.
Surveillance cameras?
What? Where would something like that be?
You don't know? Even though they're monocubs just like you?
The mastermind is the culprit?
Jeez, and you call yourself the ultimate detective? Trying to overturn the results of the first-class trial. The Monokubs won't be silent about this!
What? Us again?
But we said we don't know!
If Rantaro's killer is the mastermind, that means Kaede was the mastermind!
Can you prove the mastermind is the culprit?
Yeah! Got any evidence?
You want evidence Kaede is the culprit? The shot put ball at the murder scene! She used the camera flash to lure Rantaro in! And then cracked his skull with a shot put ball!
Yep, Kaede set up the whole thing! Even the lethal shot put ball. Kaede had it all along!
That's wrong!
The most important fact we discovered during the investigation is this. The shot put ball that Rantaro was killed with was different than the one Kaede had.
What'd you say? I have no idea what's going on!
A different shot put ball? What do you mean?
You can't leave during a trial unless you gotta pee.
Oh! I gotta pee! We're not going for that one!
Can you guys figure out the identity of the mastermind?
Besides the 16 of us at this school, there was a 17th person too! That 17th person is the mastermind!
That's wrong!
No, the mastermind can't be a 17th person. That contradicts what Mother Kuma said.
Not one of us.
I wonder where this discussion will lead. Will it lead to a mastermind in this very room? Or not? Either way, you're gonna make sure this trial stays exciting!
I was in the game room in the basement with Kaito and Gonta and Maki. Also, Tenko and Angie were there too.
Even if I was in the same basement, it's impossible for me to have killed Rantaro.
Hey! I didn't kill Rantaro either!
I was in my room by myself. And so were Ryoma and Kokichi too. I know that is a poor alibi, but I did not kill Rantaro.
I was in the dining hall. Kyo, Miu, and Kirumi were with me.
Though I did leave briefly to use the bathroom. I couldn't have killed Rentaro.
That's wrong! Wait a minute, Tsumugi.
Huh?
You said you went to the bathroom. The girls' bathroom near the dining hall, right?
What did you say? That bathroom?
Huh? What? What about it?
Shuichi, didn't you investigate the girls' bathroom? Did you find anything?
The utility closet in that bathroom has a hidden passageway.
So you gotta play Spot the Difference! Point out what everyone is mistaken about in their memories of Hope's Peak Academy! Alright! Time to play some Danganronpa Trivia!
The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
That event originated at Hope's Peak Academy, inspiring war and terrorism around the world.
The cause of all that despair was just a single high school girl.
That's wrong! One high school girl started the tragedy, the ultimate despair, Junko Enoshima. At least that's what I remember. But that's not what this book says. Ultimate despair doesn't just refer to Junko Enoshima. It refers to a group and the movement that came after. To put it simply, there's more to ultimate despair than Junko Enoshima.
The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history happened because Junko had prepared countless ways of spreading despair.
Like the killing game of the 78th class of Hope's Peak Academy.
They were held prisoner by the ultimate despair.
That's wrong! It wasn't the ultimate despair that trapped the 78th class in Hope's Peak Academy. It was the class themselves. They shut themselves in.
Shut themselves in?
Why would they shut themselves in?
It has to do with the Hope's Peak Academy shelter project. During the tragedy, the 78th class trapped themselves inside Hope's Peak Academy for protection.
Hope's Peak Academy was rebuilt. And with that, recruitment of talented students resumed.
That's wrong! We remember Hope's Peak Academy taking applications from talented students. But that's not what's written here. The Academy did not take applications. All of their students were scouted.
Scouting? I've never heard that.
I'll put a stop to this killing game.
You can't stop it! Danganronpa ends! I'll be out of a job!
Even if this is all fake, our suffering and pain is real. It was rough for me too.
It's a death thing. What the fuck you gonna do?
Ain't it better to just let it end with despair?
I reject both hope and despair. I reject a world that would make us do this. Which is why I abstain from voting. So this won't end in hope or despair.
You can't throw away your futures.
Hope is contagious.
It should end with hope, but still.
Chibo, what are you doing? Did your inner voice really tell you to do that? Did it tell you to reject hope?
No, my inner voice is still telling me not to give up on hope. But if that hope demands tragedy from us, then I cannot trust it. I may be a robot, but the thought of my friends dying still fills me with sadness. I don't want anyone else to feel this way, so I will abandon hope.
If we refuse to vote, we all die.
To choose death is to blaspheme against life itself!
Hope and despair. Neither the victor. No one would want an ending like that.
You would throw your life away for that?
That would be a meaningless death.
No, it wouldn't. Our lives are our strongest weapons. And with these weapons, we revolt against the outside world.
I'm gonna put an end to it. Even if I'm a fictional character, my life is real. That's why killing games are fun, right? It's fun to see two lives clash, right? I won't let you use my life for some show. Use my life to end this killing game.
Even your thoughts are works of fiction! It's all following my outline to a T!
This whole shebang is fiction. That's Danganronpa for ya!
Even if it is fiction, it's because of everyone's sacrifices that we've come this far. Their deaths have to be more than just fiction. There must be something we can do.
You need to live your lives for them as well.
We're going to use this fiction to change reality. We're going to end Danganronpa!
I will believe in myself.
Even if everything is fictional, I'll believe in my feelings. If I can't believe in my feelings, then my existence will have no meaning. If we can change reality, then we won't be just fiction. Our lives will have significance. And hopefully, my feelings will have significance too.
Do whatever you want with hope and despair.
We've already decided to quit this killing game.
I don't care about this fictional world.
That's right! This class trial is over! Now, start voting time!
Voting time? No, not yet! This game is gonna continue!
The killing game will continue!
This trial will go on forever and ever! This game is gonna keep going! And this class trial ain't over yet either! You really want the killing game to end? You really want Danganronpa to end? Come on, even if we keep going back and forth. Let's keep this game going! I won't let it be voting time yet! This game is gonna keep going! And this quest trial ain't over yet either! You really want the killing game to end? You really want Danganronpa to end? Come on, he doesn't keep going back and forth. Let's keep this game going! Why aren't you doing anything?
I'm abandoning this game. I won't play your game anymore, Monokuma. Now start the vote.